Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Yeah, another game, another defeat, another performance that wasn't good enough by this Manchester City team, another performance that wasn't good enough by this squad, by this club, of the standards they have set over the last decade. We're miles off it. We're miles off it. And the run we're on, 9 defeats out of 12. It's a tough take. It's a tough take. You know what I mean? We wake up this morning and 1 year ago today, we're lifting the World Club Cup in Saudi Arabia, champions of the world. And today we find ourselves, sixth in the Premier League, 9 defeats out of 12. Yeah, it's not normal. It's not normal. This kind of fall off, this rapid, this quick. It's crazy. And it's dividing the fan base. You know what I mean? Nobody's can really put the finger on it. Everyone's got their own opinions. You've got the younger generation of City fans having a meltdown. I've seen people arguing on Twitter and that, people sending me screenshots of older fans rowing with younger fans. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, if you're a City fan, you're entitled to your opinion. Whether anyone listens to your opinion, that's another thing. But you are entitled to your opinion. But we're not good enough, people. You know, we're not good enough. A lot of rival fans, they're still hurt by Manchester City, so they're coming out with the City will still win the league. You'll get a run together and all that. But anyone that's got a brain that watches Manchester City Football Club week in, week out can clearly see that this team is miles off the team that we're used to seeing. You know what I mean? And one thing this football club has been very good at is freshening up the squad when it needed freshening up. You know, we've had great players like Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero, you know, Vincent Kompany, David Silva, you know, people like this. And we've managed to bring players in and integrate them into the team. Fernandinho, etc., Joe Hart even. And then we've managed to keep the levels of performance high and the success high. But I feel like we've got ourselves in a mess. I think it's our own doing. I think it's the board and the chairman and Cheeky. I think they're all to blame for it. It's not the fans' fault. We don't control the budgets. We don't control the forward thinking. And the football club has always been a forward thinking football club, you know, ahead of the curve. And at the minute, we've let it drop that low that we've put ourselves in a crisis. Do you know what I mean? 1 or 2 injuries has literally blown our season apart, where you look at someone like Chelsea, who were getting criticised for buying a lot of players, and they can cope with anything, really, because, you know, they've got a Conference League squad that's not the same as the Premier League squad, so people are getting rested in games there. And they look like they're ready for a 70-game season. We look like we're ready to go down. You know what I mean? Because the form we're in now is relegation form. There's a lot of talk about players in January. I do believe we've got to buy in January. It's a must. But this club has never panic buyed. But this is a panic. So teams are going to have us over. They're going to have us over a barrel. So it is what it is. But you've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. We can't afford to go and buy 3 or 4 players on a panic and not improve, because then we're stuck with 3 or 4 more players on big salaries that aren't good enough for this team. There's certain players playing in this squad now that are not good enough for Manchester City Football Club. Yeah. Now you can tell me in the comments the players you think aren't good enough for this football club. But after watching Manchester City for over 30 years, well over 30 years, and watching and going week in and week out, you know, and seeing what we used to, even started this era under Mancini, and you look at the squad we've got now, and you look at the players that are playing out there, and you look at the players on the bench out there, you're thinking to yourself, we're miles off it. Then you look at other teams' benches, do you know what I mean? And you see players on their bench that would get in our first team. So it's a tough one to take because it's happened so quick. It's not like it's a gradual drop-off. You start losing a few games, winning a few games, and you think, oh, we're getting a bit old. We literally can't buy a win. You know what I mean? The team looks shot to pieces. The confidence in the team is shot to pieces. We go there, Villa Park. Aston Villa's been on a bad run. You know what I mean? They've been on a similar sort of run to us. They've not been winning games. People have been getting at them. They must have thought it was hunting season when we turned up. You know what I mean? You look at the squad. Kovacic, Gundogan in midfield, Bernardo on the right, Grealish on the left, Foden, the back four, John Stones, Akanji just come back for fitness, Gvardiol and Rico Lewis, and Ortega. And you're thinking, yeah, it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team when you're full of confidence. It's not a bad team when you're winning week in, week out, and it's flowing through the team. And you know that if you go 1-0 down, you can come back, etc., etc. We go 1-0 down now, we ain't coming back. We ain't coming back because, to be fair, recent weeks, we don't look like we're going to score a goal, you know? You look at Erling Haaland and he's getting criticism and he's come out and he said he's not doing enough. Okay, he's saying that for himself. I get that. But there's no striker on the planet that can score goals without service. If you've got Bernardo Silva on the right wing, who doesn't put a cross in, who doesn't beat a man, who doesn't spread the ball through to him, there's no threat on the right. You've got Jack Grealish on the left, who yesterday had that Matty Cash on toast, but there was no final product. He cut in a few times and shot, which I don't mind him having a shot. Every cross hit the first man and came away. So literally Haaland got no service from either wing. You look in midfield, you've got Phil Foden not getting the ball. Ilkay Gundogan and Kovacic are not brave enough to thread that ball in them intricate little gaps to get Phil Foden behind the line and through the lines. Phil's coming deep. He's saying, give me the ball in tight spaces. Because the confidence is so low, I feel like Ilkay and Kovacic are scared to take that risk. So they wasn't passing it to Foden. It was very side to side, safe. Rico Lewis coming into midfield, side to side, safe, backwards. Offers nothing, no threat. And, you know, I don't criticise the players on this channel. I don't criticise them. But what I am going to do is give my opinion. And in my opinion, I don't think Rico's good enough for the squad. I don't think he's good enough. He's a young lad. Yeah, I get it. But I don't know where he plays. I don't know what he does best. I don't know what's his best position. I don't know what he offers to the team, you know. And people might say, oh, you're being harsh, Steve. He's a young lad. Well, harsh words is what is needed now, because we can't we're not in a position where we can give a young lad a game because he's a young lad. Oh, he's all right. We can't do that. We don't need all right players. We need elite players, because we're an elite football club that needs to be in the elite Champions League. So in my opinion, if somebody can come on and tell me what he does and tells me he deserves his place in that side, then please do. But in my opinion, I don't think he's quite good enough for us. So at the minute, we've got no players. I think he's very fortunate to get in the team, because I feel like we've got nobody else. But for me, I just feel like he offers nothing. I was watching him yesterday, hell of a lot of touches, not a lot going on. So I don't know. I don't know if Pep's just playing him because he's got no one else. And if we freshen it up, will he just fade away? You look at the players that we've given away on sold. Morgan Rogers yesterday, one of our own, looked a hell of a player. Tall, physical, powerful. Yeah. And we've got Rico, that's small, very mild, doesn't really do anything, knocked off the ball a lot of the time. Romeo Lavia, big, powerful, physical player, gone. Cole Palmer, world class, gone. Pedro Porro, right back. We need a right back. You know, might not be the best right back in the world, but we need a right back. Back up to Kyle. Kyle Walker's being rolled out week in, week out as the captain, full of injuries. Not good enough. You look at the centre-back situation. We have Akanji and John Stones. We're rushing them back. We've got Nathan Ake on the bench, not fit, can't come on. Stones has now got a reoccurrence of his injury. He's at the end of his career. The injuries are taking its toll on him now. We can't have a 68, 70-game season with John Stones in there. We need somebody who's going to be the main centre-back partnership with Diaz. We need young, fresh centre-back, some young up-and-coming centre-back who we should be blooding in that team now. John Stones should be there to come on 20 minutes here and there, shore it up, Carabao Cup games, Champions League games when you're through, you know. And that's not me disrespecting John Stones, because John Stones is a cult hero, and I love John Stones. But we've got to be realistic. We've got to be realistic and realise that these players are starting to get niggles. Nathan Ake, we signed him from Bournemouth, think he played 3 seasons, never had an injury, starting to pick up injuries. And I don't think it's the players' fault. I feel like we're rushing the players back, and B, we're flogging them like cart horses. Bernardo Silva signed for this football club. He was one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. We've turned him into a very average right winger and a player that is now a workhorse. When we think of Bernardo Silva now, we think of a player running his bollocks off in midfield and tackling and chasing back. He was never that player. You look at him at Monaco, he was in the middle of the park, he was pulling the strings, he was little intricate balls, back heels, flicks, scoring goals. We've just basically turned him into a grafter. Do you know what I mean? And he's looking leggy. He's looking like he's trying his best, but he's not looking good. You look at Jack Grealish on the left. Jack's not had a great season last season. This season he's come in. He had a great game at home to Forest in the middle of the park. Now he's persisted in playing him wide again. You've got fresh legs on the bench in Savinio and Doku. We can't trust them. They don't get back. They don't defend. They don't tuck in when we haven't got the ball. They're very, very young, raw players. You know, I don't think they were intended to play this many games. And you look at the striker situation, Erling Haaland, people can get on his case all you want, but we've got nobody. He's not had a rest. He's played every minute of every game. Yeah? And if he's injured, who's the striker? Phil Foden, false 9, 1 goal. And he scored that at weekend. So it's not looking good, people. And we've got to be realistic. And all these people are saying, "Oh, Pep needs to go" and all that. You're talking out your ass, people. He doesn't need to go. He's not needing to go. He's got more credit in the bank than anyone. He can finish 15th for me, because there's no better manager to trust, to rebuild the squad. And he needs time. You can't just cherry pick players off the shelf in January and think we're going to fix it. You know, he needs time. We've got to get behind the manager. We've got to stick together, and we've got to make sure, you know, that we keep going week in and week out, and we back the boys. My only concern as a City fan is this, that the players have down tools for some reason and they don't want to play for him. Now, that might sound a bit wild, but that can happen in football. And that's the most dangerous thing in a football club for me, when the actual players down tools and don't want to play for the manager. Now, I'm not suggesting that's happened, but that is just one avenue that could happen. People have said, "Do you think, Steve, that the players are down tools?" I'm like, I don't know. But looking at that performance yesterday, it was heartless. It was soulless. They want a bad tackle put in. They want a bit of rage anywhere. They want any pressing. The first minute of the game, we give the ball away. John Duran's in. That's 1-0 anywhere else. Ortega makes a fantastic save. It's 1-0. After the week we've had against Man United, where we've given the ball away and we've conceded 2 goals in the last 5 minutes and lost the game, the first minute of the next game, what do? Give the ball away for a one-on-one. That's not normal. All week in training, they must have been watching videos of the United game and where they've been going wrong. Josko Gvardiol started the season unbelievable. Looked very comfortable on the ball. Now he looks like he don't want the ball. His first touch, he's a little bit off. He's getting caught in position. Yesterday, Rico was all over the place. I didn't know whether he was playing left back or centre mid. He was mad. Akanji yesterday, I thought, was trying his best after coming back from injury. I thought Foden was trying to get involved, but I said it before, Gundogan and Kovacic for me wasn't brave enough to slip him into them channels, into them little pockets. And it was disappointing. I mean, Kyle Walker comes on second half because Stones is injured. We can see it again. Morgan Rogers just runs through the whole of our team. Nobody brings him down. Take a yellow card, pull him down, boot him. Do you know what I mean? It's too easy. He runs through the whole team. He scores. We're 2-0 down. We're never getting back. We didn't look like scoring. We didn't look like scoring. It was embarrassing from a Man City side. I was speaking to a Villa fan last night, and he said, you look like a championship side. He said, you were knocking the roll around side to side. Villa were just dug in and thinking, you can have the ball. You're not doing us any damage. And that's fine. But Pep's that obsessed with possession. He probably come off that pitch thinking we played well. We didn't play well. You know, all his life he's played with small, tiny players who can knock around the ball and keep the ball. That's fine if you've got the quality of the players. You've got a Xavi and an Iniesta and a Messi. That's fine. You've got a David Silva in there. You know what I mean? It's fine. But if you've got an Ilkay Gundogan, a Mateusz Kovacic, a Rico Lewis in there, a Bernardo Silva on the right, it's not the same. You can't play that football. This is why I said yesterday, I feel like he's got his system in his mind and he's asking these players to play his system, but none of them can play it. You know, I know you people say, yeah, but they've played his system for the last few years. They have, but they've had key cogs in the system that make it work. You take them cogs out of the system now, it doesn't work. Ilkay Gundogan's not coming deep for the ball like Rodri. Kovacic isn't coming deep for the ball turning like Rodri. We get caught in a counter attack. Rodri would have just brought him down or chased him back and hooked it clear. We're getting ran through. We're getting ran through. One ball just bypasses the whole midfield and puts Villa through. And let's not get this twisted. Villa aren't playing well. They're not playing well, but they're miles better than us. They were miles better than us yesterday, Aston Villa. Miles better. I looked at the bench. They had options. They had players on the bench, Maddison, Ross Barkley, etc., that can change a game. You know, Ollie Watkins. You look at our bench. We've got Nico O'Reilly. Doesn't want to trust him. Don't want to play him. And for me, Nico O'Reilly's physical. He's tall. He's big. You know, he needs game time. For me, I'd play Nico O'Reilly in certain games, try and get him up to speed. I feel that Nico's very young, but I think he's very, very talented. And I feel like Nico's last decision-making is probably not there yet. But how's he going to get there without games? You know, we've made mistakes in the transfer market selling players like Morgan Rogers, like Romeo Lavia, like Taylor Harwood-Bellis, you know, like Liam Delap, sorry. We've made mistakes like that. And the thing is, when they were playing for City coming on for 15 minutes, they didn't look that player. Now they're getting game time at other clubs. You can see the actual potential. I know it's hard to throw youngsters in when you're Man City and you're top of the league and you need to win every game. I get that. But now we're getting desperate. We're getting desperate to try anything. You bring this Nico O'Reilly in, or McAtee, or whoever, and they start ticking along and they start getting stuck in and start playing and enjoying the football, you're saving yourself 40, 50 million quid. But for me yesterday, it was a lack of fight and a lack of spirit and a lack of balls. You know, I could back this club to the moon and back. I travel the length and breadth of the country with everybody else, and we get behind this club. And the fans were brilliant yesterday. But all we want to see is a bit of fight, a little bit of passion. Show that you care. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the game again, Kyle Walker, first one down the tunnel. The first one down the tunnel was Kyle Walker, your captain. Now, he can't go around feeling sorry for himself on Twitter and saying everyone's calling him, because people were calling him. It's disgusting. But you know them kind of people. They're not proper supporters. But we're in a mess and we need a leader. And you're the one with the armband. Yeah? You're the one with the armband. Come to, you know, a lot of players came over to give the shirts to the fans. Okay, I get it. Haaland's come out and said he's not been good enough. I get it. But still no word from Kyle. Still no word from him. But we can't do anything, Blues, as fans. We've just got to keep the faith. I don't want to see these meltdowns online. You know, if you want to comment on what went on in the game, comment on it, but be sensible about it. Leave a comment with your opinion, and then people can talk about it. Don't abuse people because their opinion's different to yours. Don't get on their case and all that because their opinion's different to yours. Different generations are going to get different opinions. You know, I'm a little bit more lenient and tolerant because I've seen a little bit more than most. I've seen the bad times. I've seen the good times. So this is sort of an in-between time for me. Anyone that's born of a younger generation has only seen really good times. So to them, this is a massive drop-off. So you've got to understand they're going to be fuming. I get that. January's around the corner, but for me, we've got 2 important games now. 2 important games. We've got Everton at home, Leicester away. 6 points is a must. A must. There's no, oh, we get a point at home and we do it. No, 6 points is a must. He's got to get them on that training ground. No days off. Get them on that training ground. He's got to drill it into him. At home against Everton, I'd have Jack Grealish in the middle, Kevin De Bruyne in the middle. I'd have Kovacic sat deep. I'd have Savinho on the right. I'd have fucking Doku on the left, Haaland up front, and I'd go to absolutely punish Everton, dominate against them. Don't care if it's 5-4, but blow them out the water with the attack. We've got to go and go on the front foot. We can't sit there passing it side to side, side to side, side to side. Grealish gets the ball on the left, goes down the line, crosses it, it's the first man, corner comes in, comes back out, side to side. Rico Lewis gets it, passes it all the way back to Ortega. We start again, passes to Walker into Akanji, passes to Lewis takes a touch, passes it back to Ortega. We start again. We can't have that. It's not good enough. It's pathetic, you know what I mean? And it's not working. And Pep, you know, there's a time when the fans are looking for you for inspiration. There was a time a few years ago when the charges came out and the club was rocked, and he came out and he said, I ain't leaving this football club no matter what. I ain't leaving this football club now more than ever. And it galvanised the whole club. And at the minute, there's a lot of talk of the way he's looking and his body language and the things he's saying in press conferences that he might leave or the pressure might be too much. Well, I think he needs to come out and say something. I think he needs to come out and say, listen, we're going through a crisis at the minute. I've just signed my new contract. I ain't going anywhere. I'm going to put it right. It might take a couple of winters, but trust me, we'll be back where we belong sooner than you think. I'll take that. Other Blues will take that. We've won 4 league titles on the row, on the bounce, yeah? So to have 1 season, even 2 seasons where we're not there, I'm taking it. I'm sorry, I'm taking it. Because we know there's a rebuild somewhere down the road. And if it's got to be a 2-season one where we finish 4th, I'm there for that. But at the minute, it doesn't even look like we're going to get in the Champions League positions. That's how bad we really are. We're not even playing well at all. Not even playing well at all. We're scraping along. The system's not working. It's disjointed. It's dysfunctional. We've got a striker, best in the world. Nobody gives him the ball. You know, I'd rather say, look, we're going to go 4-3-3, but we're going to play 2 wingers. This is what we're going to do. Get the ball to the wingers as fast as you can. Get down the byline. Get crosses in the box for the big man. I know it's not the Manchester City way. I know it's not the Pep way. But when you've got injuries, needs must. Needs must. You know, play a different way. The other day against United, you've got Haaland stood with Maguire. Why aren't we going long? I know it's not the Man City way. Go long, bypass the midfield, go long to Haaland, put Haaland one-on-one with Maguire. We've done it before. Done it against Arsenal at the Etihad the other season, beat them 4-1. We've done it against Brighton. They smashed the defender out of the way and scored. So there's loads of different things, but at the minute, it doesn't look like he wants to try them. But I feel the whole club is a punch bag at the minute from top to bottom. Everybody's having a dig. We're going to get that. We've been so successful. We've kept these teams in the shadow for a decade. So let them have the 5 minutes of fun. Let them poke fun at Man City. Let them come in and have a boot if they want while we're down. It's no problem. Because I guarantee you something. When it all clicks back into gear, when we get the players we need and we go again, the revenge will be a lot better than this. Let me tell you that. On that note, I'm going to leave it there. Please leave a like and a comment on the stream. Full credit to Aston Villa. Like I said, I feel like they deserved it. They've been in a bad run and they played really, really well. They played us off the park, to be honest. We'd never looked like trouble in them. Big shout out to Philip Walter Foden, who is getting a little bit better these games. He got back to his goal scoring ways. Even though it was a scrappy goal, he finished it. And we're going to roll on. Everton, Boxing Day. I want to wish everybody who follows me on this channel a very Merry Christmas. Have a great Christmas with your family and your friends. Keep the faith. Thanks for all your support this year. Thanks for all the good people. I've got a good community on my channel. I appreciate everybody that leaves a comment and is nice and wants to talk about Man City, good or bad. I don't mind it. It's, you know, it's tough for me to do these videos sometimes because I'm busy. I can't, it's not my full-time job. You know that. I don't do this for any monetary gain or anything. I just do this because it helps to get it out of my system, and people want to hear my thoughts. We've got a lot of foreign fans that don't go to the games that want to feel, you know, how it feels. And this is just my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, you don't need to watch me. Turn it off, block me, do whatever you feel. You don't. But them that do want to watch me, big up for the support. I really appreciate it. Then that come up to me at the ground and say, Steve, keep doing your stuff. I enjoy listening to you. It means a lot, that it does. Because there's sometimes when I feel like I can't be asked and, you know, I feel like I'm too busy, I don't want to do it. Then I realize that some people, they enjoy it. So thank you for that. And listen, Everton, Boxing Day. Don't eat too much turkey the night before. Don't get too pissed. Yeah. Let's get your Christmas hats on. Let's get to the Etihad Boxing Day. And we're giving out enough Christmas gifts at the minute as a football club. So let's hope Pep and the boys can give us a Christmas gift on Boxing Day with 3 points to Everton. Thanks for your support. Please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. I'll try and get back to you. If I reply, then I reply. If I like your comment, it means I've seen it and I've read it and I appreciate it. All the best, the Blues. Come on, City. Keep the faith. Come on, up the Blues. City staying up with $1 billion in the bank.